A very good morning. It's just past 8 this 18th September morning and we're back again with Breakfast Show. I am Anil Thomas. Over the next 1 hour, we'll take you through the major happenings across India and the globe from the field of politics, business and sports. Also a regular segment on health and Good News India story. Our top focus over the day, MEA targeting Pakistan on terrorism, Kashmir and PoK, while the Home Minister Ahmed Shah believes there is no slowdown in economy. That's not all. The second T20 outing between India and South Africa the two teams will look to take the lead in the three-match series, while defending champions Liverpool stumble away from home in the UEFA Champions League opening fixture. We'll also be getting live inputs from our correspondents on various angles to the top stories. But first up this Wednesday morning, the headlines we're tracking at the top of this hour. External Affairs Minister lashes out against Pakistan, says they are merely talking about terrorism where tough action is required. Says the world backs India's position over the revoking of Article 370 being an internal issue. Underlines that PoK is part of India, expect to have physical jurisdiction over the region one day. Prime Minister Narendra Modi visits the Sardar Sarovar Dam as the water reaches historic mark. Addressing a public gathering, the Prime Minister says decision on Jammu and Kashmir is inspired by Sardar Patel. Adds that it's a bid to solve a long-standing problem. Home Minister Ahmed Shah dismisses all talks of slowdown in economy, says the nation is moving towards becoming a $5 trillion economy. Not a bullet has been fired in Jammu and Kashmir since the 5th of August. Peace has been prevailing throughout the state. In a big morale boost to CRPF personnel, Home Ministry approves a major cadre restructuring of general duty staff. Promotion prospects open up for about 2.37 lakh personnel. India keeping a close eye on the oil crisis in Saudi Arabia. Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan says the prevailing situation is a cause for concern for us, but there's no impact on the supply of oil from Saudi Arabia at the moment. In international news, in Israel, survey reports say the election results is too close to call, as Benjamin Netanyahu and former Army Chief Benny Gantz are neck to neck in the race as per the pre-exit poll. Taliban attacks kill at least 48 in Afghanistan days before presidential elections. Suicide bombers attack President Ashraf Ghani's election rally in Parwan province. Another blast in Kabul. And in sports, India to take on South Africa in the second T20 in Mohali today in their first home fixture since March, after the first T20 in Dharamshala ended in a washout. And now for the stories in detail. When External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar briefed the media on Tuesday for the first time ever since taking the ministerial office, he was very clear on what has guided the Modi government's 2.0 foreign policy during its first 100 days. He said national interest has been the main driving force which has determined the conduct of India's relations with other countries and the stand it takes on global issues in a multipolar world. Here's a full report.
Tuesday saw External Affairs Minister Dr. S. Jaishankar addressing his first media briefing after taking ministerial office in South Block to put forth the MEA's work during the first 100 days of the Modi II government. He said one of the key achievements of the government during this time has been the strong connection between national security and foreign policy. He said India's voice is now heard much more than earlier at the global stage. Targeting Pakistan, the External Affairs Minister said India has a unique challenge from one neighbour who needs to act normal and take action against cross-border terrorism. He added that Pakistan only talks about tackling terrorism without ever acting on it.
Part of the problem with Pakistan is it's been only doing talking. It's not been doing anything on terrorism. That, they think that nice words are a sort of answer to the real problem, and the real problem is the dismantlement of this industry that they have created. Show me a country in the world which will accept that its neighbor can conduct terrorism and then it will go and talk to the neighbor. So our position is completely normal, rational. They are the set of people whose behavior is an aberration. The abnormality is there.
On abrogation of Article 370, the minister said there is no need to worry about what people might say at the upcoming UNGA. India's stand has been clear on the issue since 1972. He added that the world community has been explained India's stand on the subject and all are backing India.
Beyond a point, don't worry too much about what is the what will people say on Jammu and Kashmir, etc. Because let me tell you one thing, there is complete predictability about my position. Okay, my position has been clear since 1972, and my position not going to change. And at the end of the day, it is my issue. So, on my issue, my position has prevailed, will prevail.
On the subject of Pak-occupied Kashmir, he said it is an unalienable part of India and hoped that someday India will have full physical control of this territory.
On PoK, yes, our position on PoK has always been and will always be very clear. PoK is part of India, and we expect one day that it will we will have the jurisdiction, physical jurisdiction over it.
The minister also spoke about Indo-US relations, which have only strengthened over the years. He also said that some unresolved matters do remain which could be resolved soon. Speaking about the mega event in Houston, where the Prime Minister will share the stage with American President Donald Trump, who accepted the invitation from the Indian community there, Dr. Jaishankar said this also tells us the importance of the Indian community in the US.
I regard this as a great achievement of the Indian-American community. You have someone like President Trump coming there. I think this shows really where that community has reached, how it is regarded in the United States, the respect that it commands out there.
The External Affairs Minister also spoke about India-China relations and said both nations are understanding each other's concerns. On Kulbhushan Jadhav, the External Affairs Minister said that India's purpose was to get him consular access, and now efforts will be made to bring him home. On Zakir Naik, it was said, the minister engaged with his Malaysian counterpart on the sidelines of the multilateral meet in Vladivostok. Speaking about Prime Minister Modi's foreign visits, he said the PM has strengthened ties with several nations during the first 100 days. He added that the government has been very active over Africa over the first 100 days, adding that MEA has been on the right path in fulfilling the government's commitments towards African nations. It was also said that be it G20 or climate conference, India's stature and importance have been increasing on the world stage.
In his first Ask All press conference, Foreign Minister S. Jaishankar said that abrogation of an impermanent Article 370 was totally an internal matter of India, and world must know that a country which spreads terrorism in its neighborhood cannot be on a dialogue table. So as long as Pakistan does not destroy its terror establishment, there is no scene where India and Pakistan can sit on a table and have a dialogue. With camera person Smriti Ranjan Mahapatra, this is Abhishek Jha for DD News.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi on Tuesday visited the Sardar Sarovar Dam in Gujarat and offered salutations to Narmada River, revered as Mother Narmada. It was a landmark moment when the water level at the Sardar Sarovar Dam reservoir touched the highest ever mark. This puja marks the launch of the Namami Narmade Mahotsav that celebrates the dam's water level milestone. Prime Minister Modi also inaugurated the Vishwavan, a botanical garden displaying flora and fauna from across the world.
Prime Minister Narendra Modi's salutations to Ma Narmada the nourishing life source that sustains Gujarat and neighbouring regions. The occasion, a landmark moment when the water level at the Sardar Sarovar Dam reservoir touches the highest ever mark. This puja marks the launch of the Namami Narmade Mahotsava that celebrates the dam's water level milestone. The day is also special as the nation celebrates Pradhan Sevak Narendra Modi's birthday. Another milestone achieved earlier in August was the Statue of Unity in Gujarat, making it to the Times 2019 100 Greatest Places in the World list. And a few days before the listing, a record 34,000 people visited the site in a single day. Clearly, Prime Minister's vision of creating an integrated tourism hub has found success. From envisaging the world's tallest statue as a tribute to Sardar Patel, the son of Gujarat, the Iron Man who united the nation, giving the world independent India, to converting an infrastructure project into an eco-tourism site, a long-term vision is clearly established. Prime Minister Narendra Modi reviewed the tourism infrastructure at Kevadia. A butterfly garden is also part of the eco-tourism push. Butterflies are a key link in any ecosystem since they pollinate plants. Symbolically, Prime Minister Narendra Modi released butterflies to mark his visit. Prime Minister visited the first river rafting site in Gujarat at Khalwani, located on River Narmada. River rafting at this site will be possible 365 days a year due to regular flow of 600 cusecs of water at Khalwani. Next came the jungle safari. The Surpaneshwar sanctuary at Zarwani has animals like deer, cheetal and giraffe to attract tourists. The complex also houses a unique cactus garden. Interacting with the caretakers, Prime Minister Modi urged them to be open to feedback from visitors while developing the garden.
medicinal values sir जी सर એવું જો કઈ થશે સર અમે યુનિવર્સિટી વાળા તૈયાર કર્યા છે અથવા તો અને નંબરિંગ આપીને ઈયરફોન આપી કરી દીધું છે સર બતાવો
A cultural extravaganza awaited Prime Minister Modi at the Ekta Nursery. Developed by the Forest Department near the Gora Submersible Bridge, this nursery nurtures plants for sale as well as plantation. The stall at the nursery also makes its own disposable plates and other serving ware. Prime Minister Narendra Modi tried his hand at operating a machine. He also inaugurated Vishwavan, a botanical garden of sorts that has flora and fauna from across the world. Grass gazebos illustrate the emphasis on going back to nature. Prime Minister Narendra Modi offered prayers at the Garudadeshwar, the temple dedicated to Lord Shiva. Legend has it that taking a dip in the Narmada and offering prayers at this temple wash away all sins. Once again, the amalgamation of adventure tourism, ecotourism, historical tourism and religious tourism was visible. A nutrition park geared towards attracting children and creating a fitness connect with their roots is also part of the tourism hub at Kevadia.
Leading by example, on his birthday, Prime Minister Narendra Modi made a call to the people to visit this beautiful, eco-friendly land, which is home to the iconic Statue of Unity. With camera person Narendra Paperwala, Arun Sharma, Doordarshan News, Narmada.
From hailing the milestone of the highest water level at the Sardar Sarovar Dam to sharing the 4P mantra for integrating sustainable development and tourism. Here are the 5 big takeaways from Prime Minister Modi's address to the gathering at Kevadia.
पर्यावरण को संरक्षित करते हुए कैसे विकास किया जा सकता है, इसका जीवंत उदाहरण अब केवड़िया में देखने को मिल रहा है। केवड़िया में प्रगति, प्रकृति, पर्यावरण और पर्यटन का अद्भुत संगम हो रहा है। हमने पहली बार सरदार सरोवर बांध को पूरा भरा हुआ देखा है। एक समय था जब 122 मीटर के लक्ष्य तक पहुंचना ही बहुत बड़ी सिद्धि माना जाता था, लेकिन आज 5 वर्ष के भीतर 138 मीटर तक सरदार सरोवर का भर जाना अद्भुत है और विस्मरणीय है। जम्मू कश्मीर और लद्दाख के लोगों को 70 साल तक भेदभाव का सामना करना पड़ा। इसका दुष्परिणाम हिंसा और अलगाव के रूप में, अधूरी आशा और आकांक्षाओं के रूप में पूरे हिंदुस्तान ने भुगता है। सरदार साहब की प्रेरणा से एक महत्वपूर्ण फैसला देश ने लिया है। दशकों पुरानी समस्या के समाधान के लिए नए रास्ते पर चलने का निर्णय लिया गया है। अमेरिका के स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी को देखने एवरेज औसतन 10,000 लोग प्रतिदिन डेली पहुंचते हैं। 10,000, जबकि स्टैच्यू ऑफ लिबर्टी को 133 साल हो चुके हैं और स्टैच्यू ऑफ यूनिटी को सिर्फ 11 महीने, और डेली 8,500 लोगों का आना, 11 महीने में 23 लाख लोगों का आना, ये अपने आप में बड़ा अजूबा है। सिंगल यूज प्लास्टिक से मुक्ति के लिए पूरा देश प्रयास कर रहा है। मुझे जानकारी है कि आप सभी स्वच्छता ही सेवा अभियान के तहत इस काम में जुटे हुए हैं। और ये हम ना भूले, हमारा जल, हमारा जंगल और हमारी जमीन प्लास्टिक से मुक्त रहे, इसके लिए हमारी कोशिशें और तेज होनी चाहिए।
Home Minister Ahmed Shah has said that the Narendra Modi government will not budge even an inch on the issue of national security and that any attempt to breach Indian territories will be dealt with firmly. Addressing an event organized by the All India Management Association in New Delhi, he said that the government will never compromise on India's security.
Union Home Minister Ahmed Shah on Tuesday said the Modi government will not tolerate any breach of India's territory and is ready to deal with any such acts strongly. Shah also asserted that the situation in Jammu and Kashmir has been peaceful ever since special status to the state under Article 370 was abrogated on the 5th of August. He added that not a single bullet has been fired, nor has anyone died since then. He said this while addressing the 47th convention of the All India Management Association in New Delhi.
5 अगस्त के दिन जब संसद हुई और प्रधानमंत्री जी ने सुबह कैबिनेट में फैसला लिया कि इस देश अब 370 और 35 से मुक्ति चाहता है, अखंड भारत का स्वप्न हम पूरा करना चाहते हैं, और आज इससे भी हम मुक्ति पा ली। ढेर सारी बातें होती थी, ये होगा वो होगा। मैं आपको बताना चाहता हूं 5 अगस्त से लेकर 17 सितंबर तक इतना समय हुआ, कश्मीर में एक भी गोली नहीं चलानी पड़ी है, एक भी व्यक्ति का मृत्यु नहीं हुआ है और बिल्कुल शांति के साथ कश्मीर खुला है। ये बताता है कि सरकार जो फैसले करती है इनके क्रियान्वयन के लिए कितनी गंभीर है।
The Home Minister said that the dream of New India is to create a Mahan or a great India. Speaking about initiatives taken by the government, Ahmed Shah referred to how numerous steps to improve the economy, infrastructure and agriculture had borne fruit. The per capita national income, he said, has gone up from 80,000 rupees to 1,26,000 rupees. He also said that there should be no worries on the economy front, for India was on the sure path to becoming a $5 trillion economy.
हम दुनिया में तीसरी बड़ी अर्थव्यवस्था $5 ट्रिलियन की इकोनॉमी बनने की दिशा में बहुत तेजी के साथ आगे बढ़ रहे हैं। मुझे मालूम है काफी लोगों के मन में शंका है, मगर मैं कहता हूं आप मान लीजिएगा कि हिंदुस्तान को $5 ट्रिलियन की इकोनॉमी 2024 के पहले बनना ही है, ये सुनिश्चित है और हम बनते हैं।
On the subject of cross-border terrorism, Shah said that after the surgical strikes and airstrike, the perception of the world has changed and India's strength has been recognized globally. With Sudhakar Das, DD India.
Home Minister Ahmed Shah is visiting Ranchi in Jharkhand today. During his visit, the Home Minister will address the Johar Jan Ashirwad Yatra. The yatra commenced on Friday and is aimed at highlighting the work and achievements of the Raghubar Das government. The Jan Ashirwad Yatra is also aimed at thanking people of the state for the faith and confidence they have reposed in the BJP in the last general election. Well, for more on this, we are joined by our correspondent there, Diwakar, joining us on the phone line from Ranchi. Diwakar, very good morning. Diwakar, the significance of this particular, Johar Jan Ashirwad Yatra, and with the election season round the corner, what exactly, is the purpose of this yatra, and also, how much of, the significance of this particular yatra?
आज केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष झारखंड के 1 दिवसीय दौरे पर आ रहे हैं और इस दौर वो रांची में भी एक कार्यक्रम में शिरकत करेंगे, लेकिन सबसे इम्पोर्टेंट कार्यक्रम जो है वो संथाल का किला, जो हम कह सकते हैं कि बीजेपी इस बार भेदने का प्रयास कर रही है और बीजेपी ने जो एक नारा दिया है 65+, उस दिशा में ये संथाल का बहुत बड़ा रोल है, क्योंकि संथाल में कुल 18 विधानसभा सीटें आती है और 2014 के चुनाव में यहाँ पर बीजेपी को 7 सीटें मिली थी। तो बीजेपी का जो टारगेट है 65+ का, उसमें इसका बहुत बड़ा रोल, क्योंकि संथाल का किला अगर बीजेपी इस बार भेद करती है, क्योंकि झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा का ये गढ़ माना जाता है और पिछले चुनाव में झारखंड मुक्ति मोर्चा को ज्यादातर सीटें यहीं से मिली थी। उस लिहाज से इस जो यात्रा है जोहार यात्रा, उसका बड़ा मकसद है और इस यात्रा के जरिए एक रघुवर सरकार और जो डबल इंजन सरकार की बात हम लगातार कर रहे हैं कि झारखंड के कोई अस्थायी सरकार बनी और वो अपना कार्यकाल रघुवर दास के नेतृत्व में पूर्ण करने जा रही है। तो इस 5 सालों में सरकार ने कई ऐसे कदम उठाए हैं जिसको लेकर वो जनता की इस बात की, और इसी आधार पर भारतीय जनता पार्टी पूरी तरह से कॉन्फिडेंट भी है कि वो जो 65+ का नारा दिया है उससे पार्टी और बेहतर करेगी। उस लिहाज से आज भारतीय जनता पार्टी के राष्ट्रीय अध्यक्ष अमित शाह जो संथाल का जामताड़ा इलाका है वहां पर एक जनसभा को संबोधित करेंगे और इस यात्रा का शुभारंभ भी करेंगे। इस यात्रा का मकसद ये है कि ये करीब इस इलाके में ये यहाँ पर एक रथ दौड़ेगी जिसके जरिए सरकार की जो विकास योजनाएं हैं, किस तरह से आदिवासियों के कल्याण के लिए, गरीब के कल्याण के लिए जो योजनाएं बनाई गई है, किसका उस जमीन पर इम्पैक्ट हुआ है, ये भी एक तरह से संवाद के जरिए जानने की कोशिश सरकार करेगी किस तरह से योजना जन जन तक पहुंची है। क्योंकि ये कहा जाता है कि पूर्वी इलाका जो रहा देश का विकास पीछे छूटा है, लेकिन जिस तरह से हम देख रहे हैं कि लगातार जो राष्ट्रव्यापी योजनाओं का शुभारंभ झारखंड से हुआ, पिछले हफ्ते प्रधानमंत्री आए थे, उन्होंने किस तरह से यहाँ पर 2 राष्ट्रव्यापी योजनाओं का शुभारंभ किया, इसके पहले आयुष्मान भारत योजना की शुरुआत यहाँ से हुई। तो इस तरह से झारखंड और पूर्वी इलाका जो है उसके जरिए विकास की किरण यहाँ पर पहुंचाने की कोशिश हुई है और उसका इम्पैक्ट भी दिखता है, क्योंकि हम ग्राउंड रिपोर्ट करने जाते हैं तो ये दिखता है कि जो जन कल्याणकारी योजनाएं हैं आदिवासी बहुल इलाकों में उसका बहुत अच्छा इम्पैक्ट हुआ है, और जो सखी मंडल और दूसरी तरह की चीजें हैं जिसके जरिए महिला सशक्तिकरण की सरकार करती है, उन सारी चीजों को जमीन पर पहुंचाया गया है। और आज जब ये सरकार के जरिए यात्रा की शुरू जब केंद्रीय गृह मंत्री करेंगे, उस दौरान मुख्यमंत्री रघुवर दास भी रहेंगे और मुख्यमंत्री रघुवर दास लगातार यहाँ 1 हफ्ते तक कैंप भी करेंगे और जनता के बीच वो जाकर अपनी बात रखेंगे कि सरकार ने किस तरह से उनके हित में जो जन कल्याणकारी योजना पहुंचाई है उसका इम्पैक्ट हुआ है, और उस डायरेक्शन में सरकार उनसे एक फीडबैक भी लेगी कि किस तरह से और जमा पहुंचाने की जरूरत है, ताकि जो गरीब हैं, जो अब तक विकास की धारा से पीछे रहे हैं, उन तक जन कल्याणकारी योजनाएं आसानी से पहुंच सके। जी अनिल।
Diwakar, also considering the fact in the last Lok Sabha elections, BJP or the NDA together managed to win 12 out of the 14 seats in Jharkhand. Does that make this target of 65+ very realistic for the BJP?
यस, एकदम रियलिस्टिक है। देखिए, इस लिहाज से भी हम कह रहे हैं पिछले चुनाव में बीजेपी ने 40 से ज्यादा सीटें जीती और एनडीए की सरकार यहाँ चल रही है। लेकिन जिस तरह से एक 5 साल की अस्थायी सरकार चली और विकास योजनाएं जिस तरह से धरातल पर उतरी है, और एक जो हम कह रहे हैं जो रैंकिंग जो आती है, झारखंड ने क्षेत्र में अच्छा प्रदर्शन किया है, चाहे आकाश जिलों को लेकर रिपोर्ट हो, स्वास्थ्य के क्षेत्र में हो, बुनियादी सुविधाओं के विस्तार को लेकर हो, ईज ऑफ डूइंग बिजनेस को लेकर, क्योंकि झारखंड का नाम पहले सिर्फ भ्रष्टाचार के लिए जाना जाता था, लेकिन पिछले 5 साल में वो जो एक पैमाना था और वो एक जो नजरिया था लोगों का, वो बदला है। तो उस लिहाज से हम कह सकते हैं कि जिस तरह से एक झारखंड को कहा जाता है मिनरल स्टेट्स है, संसाधनों से बहुत पूर्ण रिच स्टेट है, तो उस लिहाज से जिस तरह झारखंड में विकास हो रहा है और उस हिसाब से जनता एक मैग्नेट के आधार पर लोगों को चुनती है, जनता देखती है कि विकास किस लिहाज से उनके लिए फायदेमंद हो रहा है। तो जिस तरीके से 5 साल में यहाँ विकास की किरण पहुंची, तो ऐसे में बीजेपी ये 5+ का टिकट लेकर चल रही है, एकदम पूरी तरह से रियलिस्टिक लगता है। और जनता भी हम इस सोच में है, क्योंकि एक बात का 370 और 35A के बाद भी चीजें और भी लोगों के माइंडसेट में बदली है कि अगर डबल इंजन की सरकार रहेगी तो विकास की धारा और तेज गति से अनिल पहुंचेगी।
Okay, we'll leave it there. Thank you and appreciate you joining us. We'll come back to you for more updates as the Home Minister reaches the state of Jharkhand. Moving ahead, in a big morale boost to CRPF personnel, the Home Ministry approved a major cadre restructuring of the general duty staff. The first ever cadre review for Jawans and sub-officers of the CRPF will benefit 2.37 lakh troops, as it will ensure faster promotion and monetary benefits to them. As per the latest order, the CRPF said in a statement, while it will be a 100% jump in the sanction for the rank of sub-inspector, the same figure will be 91% for inspector ranks, 40% for head constable and 34% for assistant sub-inspector ranks. President Nath today returned to New Delhi after successfully completing his state visit to Iceland, Switzerland and Slovenia. Earlier, he addressed the members of the Indian community in Slovenia on Tuesday. He said that the community is contributing to the development of Slovenia and building India-Slovenia ties. The president also said that the community is a vibrant reflection of India's rich diversity and cultural heritage.
I say a bright future for the relations between India and Slovenia. I am sure you will continue to contribute meaningfully to the strengthening of the bonds between our two countries and our two peoples.
The President Kovind addressed the India-Slovenia Business Forum in Ljubljana. He said that Slovenia has strengths in high-tech, research, innovation, smart solutions and small-scale precision manufacturing. The President also stressed that Slovenian smart specialization strategy and Indian growth make for a new age partnership. He added that the bilateral cultural understanding between the two countries is indeed deep and special. Earlier, during the last leg of his three-nation visit, President Kovind held delegation-level talks with his Slovenian counterpart, Borut Pahor. Both leaders discussed cooperation in high-tech, clean technology, robotics and artificial intelligence. The two countries also signed and exchanged 7 MOUs and programs of cooperation in the field of investment, sports, culture, river rejuvenation, science and technology and standards. Army Chief General Bipin Rawat on Tuesday visited the Fire and Fury Corps and interacted with the chairman of the 15th Finance Commission, N.K. Singh, and other members. The Finance Commission team is in Ladakh sector as part of their visit to field formations of the Indian Army to understand the conditions under which troops are operating and assess the requirements of financial outlays to meet the modernization and infrastructure development requirements of the Army. General Bipin Rawat highlighted the peculiar terrain, weather and altitude challenges of Ladakh sector, which require specialized equipment and skills for performing operational tasks. He also appraised the Finance Commission that the focus on improving connectivity to the border areas in the recent years has greatly improved the efficiency of the troops deployed along the borders. Members of the Finance Commission assured the Indian Army of all support required to discharge their duties effectively. General Officer Commanding-in-Chief, Northern Command, Lieutenant General Ranbir Singh witnessed an exercise by the integrated troops of all arms and services in super high altitude area in the eastern Ladakh region on Tuesday. The exercise encompassed employment of mechanized forces with force multipliers integrating high technology platforms. Complimenting the commanders and troops, Lieutenant General Ranbir Singh stated that he was fully confident that Northern Command will continue its legacy of excelling in combat should a conflict be forced upon the nation. The Army Commander also called upon all ranks to remain vigilant and maintain a high order operational readiness. Well, we are joined by our correspondent Vishal Baristo on the latest situation in Jammu and Kashmir. Vishal, good morning. Vishal, you are there on ground zero. Give us a sense of how exactly normalcy has returned there and how easy is it for the people to get on the streets, especially in Kashmir and also in Jammu, and go about with their daily routine.
A very good morning to you, Anil, and thank you so much. It's quite cool and pleasant morning here in Srinagar, and as far as we mentioned that the situation in Kashmir is gradually turning to normal, and now it has gained some pace, because I've been here in Srinagar visiting different parts of Kashmir for the last 17 days, and I have seen a gradual progress as far as the peace process and normalcy is concerned. Traffic is normal here in Srinagar, and shops are also opening, though the timing is quite different. In the morning they open their shops, then in the afternoon there is a lull, and in the evening then again they open their shops. There are certain anti-national elements who are still threatening people not to open their shops and portray a picture of absolute band, but the traffic on the roads does not say it, and we are showing our viewers every day fresh visuals are on how the private vehicles are plying on the roads, and also the light motor vehicles are also plying, and they are serving the public transport system. As far as the communication part is concerned, the government has set up internet kiosk at various places, especially in the districts, and here in Srinagar at the tourist reception center, internet kiosks are serving the passengers for booking tickets and all. In the government department, yesterday I visited the divisional commissioner's office, and I spoke to the additional deputy commissioner also, and he showed us and also spoke to us on camera, and it tells how things are improving, because the government transactions, the salary disbursement, and also the opening of tenders, they are all done online, and that is why these internet kiosks are serving the purpose. Not only that, so internet kiosks are also serving the students of the state who are applying for different competitive examination and for their scholarships, and this is all done online. So situation is improving, lot more needs to be done, and the government is in the know-how of what all is required here in this part of the state. And the Home Minister, as you heard, he said that not a single bullet has been fired ever since Article 370 and 335A were abrogated. And so the paramilitary forces and the army, they are all working very hard, and the governor is also time and again apprising the Prime Minister about the situation here in Kashmir. Yesterday, the General Officer Commanding Northern Command, Lieutenant General Ranbir Singh, was on a 2-day visit on forward post to take a look at the situation and tell the armed forces to be vigilant all the time, because the enemy is looking for all kinds of tactics to somehow create problem here in Kashmir. And at the same time, the army chief was also there in Ladakh. So along with the army, the paramilitary forces, the government, they are all quite vigilant. And let me also tell you that the DGP of the state, Dilbagh Singh, has also informed us that CCTV cameras have been installed at various locations. Now there are intelligence inputs that 60 odd militants, they are trying to infiltrate from the Pakistan side and create problems here to tell the world that there is a problem in Kashmir. But as the Prime Minister has time and again said that we need to take Kashmir to a new height so that people from across the border get so much encouraged and attracted that they cross the border and join Indian part of Kashmir. The world is with us. The External Affairs Minister has made it very clear that Pakistan need not bother about this part of the state, but it needs to bother about the PoK, because that is also an integral part of the country. And as the Home Minister said, that under the leadership of the Prime Minister Narendra Modi, India hopes and expects to get that part of the state which belongs to us. Anil?
Okay, we'll leave it there. You take good care of yourself. We'll come back to you for more updates on that story there in Jammu and Kashmir along with the Ladakh region. Moving ahead, even as petrol and diesel prices saw a hike following the attacks on Saudi Arabian crude oil facilities, the centre has assured that the oil supplies from Saudi Arabia has not been disrupted. Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan further said that in India, the world's third largest oil consumer, is keeping a close watch on the developing situation there. India is also looking to widen the energy source bouquet, and talks are on with the Russian company Rosneft for the supply of crude oil.
Oil prices have surged since the attack on Saudi Arabia's crude oil facilities. For 70% of its crude oil needs, India depends on imports. And due to this, global oil prices are important for the Indian economy. India is closely observing all the developments. Petroleum Minister Dharmendra Pradhan said the ministry was closely monitoring the situation and was in talks with Indian refiners and Saudi Aramco. Saudi Arabia is India's top oil supplier after Iraq.
सारे प्रमुख अधिकारियों की, ऑयल कंपनियों के अधिकारियों की चर्चा हो गई है. हमें उन्होंने आश्वस्त किया है सप्लाई डिसरप्शन नहीं होगा, लेकिन ये घटना एक सबको चिंता में डाली है. अभी फिलहाल एक सेंटिमेंटल प्राइस हाइक हुई है और 5 मिलियन बैरल पर डे इसकी एक बड़ा प्रोसेसिंग प्लांट उनकी नुकसान हुई है. देखते हैं उसकी क्या एक्चुअल इंपैक्ट आने वाले सप्ताह में आएगा, लेकिन भारत अपने सारे विषयों को खुल के रखा है और हम उसके लिए जिम्मेवारी ले रहे हैं. उसके लिए जो करना लगेगा हम कर रहे हैं.
India is looking at raising oil imports from Russia. Dharmendra Pradhan met the chief executive of Russian oil major Rosneft, and 4 Indian companies planned to increase their investment in Russia's oil fields. The meeting is taking place soon after PM Modi's Vladivostok visit. PM Modi had during his visit to Russia held deliberations on enhanced assistance between India and Russia for the collaborative use of natural resources.
ईस्टर्न क्लस्टर रशिया की एक एम्बिशियस नया ऑयल फील्ड में भारत की 4 कंपनियों की निवेश बढ़ेगा. OVL, इंडियन ऑयल कॉरपोरेशन, ऑयल इंडिया और BPCL की BPRL, ये 4 कंपनियों की निवेश वहां बढ़े, इसके बारे में चर्चा हुई. दोनों पक्षों से टेक्निकल टीम चर्चा करना शुरू करेगी और इसको आने वाले प्रधानमंत्री जी की रशिया की दौरे की पहले उसकी एक प्रारूप बन जाए, उसकी कोशिश की निर्णय किया गया.
The attack on Saudi Arabia's oil facilities has led to many questions regarding the supply of crude oil. The incident has led to a shortage in supply. The crisis has also affected the production of oil in Saudi Arabia. This has emerged as a big challenge in the global crude supply chain. Prices of crude oil have increased 19 to 20% to $71 per barrel. This is the highest price of crude oil in 3 decades. The Saudi oil facilities were hit on Saturday morning in a drone attack claimed by the Houthi rebels. However, the source for the attack is still under dispute, with many raising a finger at Iran. India has strongly condemned the attack. The External Affairs Ministry has reiterated its stand of condemning terror in all formats. The situation is a big challenge for India. For the fastest growing major economy, it is imperative for India to ensure its long-term energy security. The world's largest oil producer, Saudi Arabia, is also India's biggest source of oil. 20% of India's imports are from Saudi Arabia. Oil markets often become a casualty time and again in the frictions that arise between nations. DD News.
Well, Saudi Arabia Energy Minister Prince Abdulaziz bin Salman said that the country will restore its lost oil production by the end of September. Addressing the media, the Energy Minister has said that more than half of the country's daily crude oil production that was knocked out by an attack has been recovered, and that production capacity at its targeted plants would be fully restored by the end of this month. He also said that the production capacity would reach up to 11 million barrels a day by the end of September and 12 million barrels in November. Saudi King Salman bin Abdulaziz has said that Riyadh was capable of dealing with the consequences of attacks on its installations. A statement issued after a meeting of the Saudi Arabia's Council of Ministers said that the cabinet had reviewed the damage caused by the attacks on Aramco installations, and it called on the world governments to confront them regardless of their origin. The United States has concluded that an attack on the Saudi Arabia oil facilities was launched from Iran. Speaking to media, a U.S. official said that the strike involved cruise missiles and that evidence will be presented at the UN General Assembly next week. Meanwhile, U.S. Vice President Mike Pence once again warned that the U.S. military is locked and loaded for a possible response. Pence announced that the Secretary of State Mike Pompeo was on his way to Saudi Arabia to discuss our response. Two separate suicide bombings there rocked Afghanistan on Tuesday, killing at least 48 people and injuring dozens others. In Parwan province, north of the capital Kabul, an election rally where President Ashraf Ghani was due to speak was attacked and 26 people died. Another blast near the U.S. Embassy in central Kabul killed 22 people. The Taliban has claimed responsibility for the two attacks. They have refused to talk to the Afghan government and vowed to disrupt the presidential election in the country on the 28th of September. On Twitter, the president called the perpetrators a cowardly enemy. U.S. President Donald Trump has described the negotiations with the Taliban as dead earlier this month. In Tunisia, two political outsiders will compete in a runoff vote to become the country's next president after they topped the first round of voting. With Sunday's vote, the public have voiced its discontent with a stagnating economy and a lack of political and economic overhauls. The election is the second free presidential poll since the 2011 uprising that toppled the ex-president Zine al-Abidine bin Ali and sparked the Arab Spring. It was brought forward after the death in July of the country's first democratically elected president, Benji Khaid, who took office in 2014. Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu's battle for political survival looks set to continue after days and weeks after Israeli exit polls at the end of the election showed that the race is too close to call. The surveys by Israeli television stations showed Netanyahu's right wing liquid with a 31-33 of Parliament's 120 seats compared with 32-34 for the centrist blue and white led by former General Benny Gantz. The exit polls clearly indicated that Netanyahu's ally turned rival ex-defense minister Avigdor Lieberman could be the kingmaker. The ballot followed an inconclusive elections in April. Netanyahu at 69 is Israel's longest serving prime minister. He seeks a fifth term after a decade in power. Spain, meanwhile, will hold a repeat parliamentary elections on November 10th. The decision was taken by the acting Prime Minister Pedro Sanchez after he failed to secure enough support to be confirmed as Premier. Sanchez's Socialist Party got the most votes in the April 28th elections but failed to get a majority. He acted after the king, who is the head of the state, said there was no viable candidates to lead a new government. Political parties are blaming each other for putting the country on course for a repeat election. November elections would be the country's fourth general elections in 4 years. On sports, India will take on South Africa in the second T20 match in Mohali today. Rishabh Pant's form would be an important subplot when India look to seize the advantage against South Africa in the second T20 match. The first game was abandoned on Sunday in Dharamshala without a ball being bowled due to heavy rains.
After the first T20 international ended in a washout, India would be itching to get on to the field against a new-look South Africa for their first home fixture since March 2019. In an attempt to groom new talent before next year's ICC Men's T20 World Cup, India have persisted with Rahul, Deepak Chahar, Washington Sundar and Krunal Pandya for the series against South Africa. While Hardik Pandya has made a return after being rested for the West Indies tour, regulars such as Jasprit Bumrah, Bhuvneshwar Kumar and MS Dhoni are not part of the 15-man setup. Rishabh Pant will be India's wicketkeeper batsman once again, and as pointed out by his head coach and captain, will be expected to make better decisions at the crease. India's rest spin duo of Kuldeep Yadav and Yuzvendra Chahal have been left out to strengthen the lower order batting. It is also an important series for Shreyas Iyer and Manish Pandey, who have been brought back into the side to solidify the middle order. The game will also be an opportunity for Shikhar Dhawan to play a substantial knock, having endured a lean tour of the West Indies by his standards. South Africa will hope to start their new era with a win against strong Indian unit with Quinton de Kock in charge. The Kagiso Rabada-led attack would have to bowl really well to contain the Indian batsmen, especially skipper Kohli, who played one of his best knocks against Australia in March 2016, the last T20 played in Mohali to take India to the World T20 semi-finals. With 20-odd games to go before the World Cup, Indian team wants to boost its batting, which will require number 8, 9 and 10 to score runs on a regular basis, something which has never been India's strength. Will a deep batting lineup compromise India's ability to take wickets in the middle overs? Only time will tell. Sports Desk, DD News.
Meanwhile, moving to football, Liverpool's Champions League title defence got off to a stuttering start as Jurgen Klopp's Reds fell to a 2-0 defeat against Napoli on Tuesday night. Returning to the Stadio San Paolo, where they lost 1-0 in the group stages last season, Liverpool fell behind with 9 minutes remaining from a penalty spot. Dries Mertens stepped up and fired in from the spot after Jose Callejon went down under a challenge from Andrew Robertson. With time running out, Virgil van Dijk made an uncharacteristic mistake to tee up former Tottenham forward Fernando Llorente for a simple finish to wrap up the game. Klopp's side became the first competition winners to lose the opening game of the Champions League defence since AC Milan were defeated by Ajax Amsterdam in 1994, and the Germans was concerned by his players' wastefulness.
We have to accept the result and do that. We are really critical with ourselves, but it was not a really bad performance. It was a game which you can win at Napoli, but we didn't, because we didn't score at that point. Maybe didn't get that, because of the penalty. I'm pretty sure there are different views on that situation, but when the player jumps before there's contact, then it cannot be a penalty. But we cannot change that anymore, so that's how it is, and now we carry on. That's it.
Meanwhile, Chelsea's return to the Champions League ended in disappointment as Ross Barkley missed a late penalty that ensured Valencia claimed victory at Stamford Bridge. Frank Lampard's first game as a manager in the Champions League tournament. He won as a player with Chelsea in 2012 turned into a night of frustration as Valencia took advantage of slack marking at a free kick for Rodrigo to score the winner on 74 minutes. Well, time now to take a look at the top stories published in the national dailies from the national capital. Our first look is at the Indian Express. On page 7, the defence sector will help India take India's economy to 10 trillion by 2030. This is what the Defence Minister Rajnath Singh has underlined on Tuesday, where he's spoken about the importance of the domestic defence industry, calling it a prominent sector under the Make in India initiative, which will contribute to India's growth towards becoming a 10 trillion economy. The current size of India's economy is around 2.7. The goal is to make it to 5 trillion by 2024 and to take it to 10 trillion by 2030. Our next look is at the Hindu, and in the pages of the newspaper, an interesting story on the new Motor Vehicle Act impact. The use of seat belts have gone amongst bus drivers and also truck drivers. The use of seat belts has improved substantially. The findings by an NGO clearly indicate that in Delhi, there has been an 80.5% rise or an increase in the use of seat belts by bus drivers, with 88% of them wearing seat belts after the implementation of the Motor Vehicle Amendment Act. Whereas in 2019, before the act was implemented, just 7.5% people voted. Remember, it's for your safety. You need to take good care when you sit in the car or when you're driving those buses, that you need to get your seat belts on. Our next look is at the Times of India. This is about the monsoon, and no signs yet of the monsoon retreat, more rain likely in India. 17 days into September, and there is no sign yet of the monsoon beginning to withdraw from the country. The normal date for withdrawal, which is generally the 1st of September. There has been a 6-year period that's been put across from 2013. It's been September 24th, 2014, it was September 9th, 15 September 23rd, the maximum rain that we've seen last year, that's 2018, when we saw the monsoon withdrawal date start at around September 29th. Our final look is at the Mail today. It's an interesting story about, Deepa Karmakar, once upon talked about, athlete who rose to great heights when she finished 4th in Rio Olympics. Now, experts feel that her Karmakar's career has not been managed well in the last 3 years. Injuries are part and parcel of any sportsman's career. But, she's practically derailed her career, having pulled out of the artistic team finals at the Asian Games in Jakarta last August. She's competed in just 2 individual apparatus finals that she's qualified. Before that, in 2018, she had competed in the World Cup without much fanfare. So, players need to be cautious about this particular move. And another bright prospect, let's keep our fingers crossed that she is able to bounce back. But at this point of time, she seems to have hit a roadblock. Well, now let's talk about Fit India movement, and let's take a look at this particular story. Well, talking about Fit India, Prime Minister Narendra Modi had launched the Fit India movement on the occasion of the National Sports Day, urging people to make fitness a lifestyle. The movement has gathered support from across the sections. Cricketer Sardar Patel has hailed the initiative and explained the importance of exercising. He also appealed to the people to participate in this movement.
बहुत ही इम्पॉर्टेंट मुहिम है, क्योंकि जब अगर आप इतने फिट रहेंगे तो आप सोच अच्छा सकते हैं। हमने बहुत जगहों पे देखा है कि अगर आप फिट प्लेयर भी हो तो आपका परफॉर्मेंस बहुत अच्छा होता है। आप फिट होंगे तभी आप अच्छा सोच सकते हैं। तो मैं खाली एज ए स्पोर्ट्समैन खाली आप लोगों को एक इतनी अनुरोध करूँगा कि अपने प्राइम मिनिस्टर श्री मोदी जी ने जो मुहिम चलाई है उसमें आप पार्ट लीजिए, और आप अपने दिन का खाली 45 मिनट से 1 घंटा निकालिए और एक्सरसाइज करिए, ताकि आप फिट रहे और आपके फैमिली भी फिट रहेगी और आप सबको अच्छा पोषण भी मिल सकता है।
Well, thanks to Doordarshan News, a Kolkata-based driver could finally meet his lost son. Take a look at this special report.
A Kolkata-based driver with a multinational courier service firm finally traced his son, and all thanks to Doordarshan News. On 14th September, DD News aired a good news story of Muslim Munshi working for mentally distressed people. It was only after seeing this news, Kartik Shaw found his lost son Sahil Shaw after 19 months. Kartik was watching the DD News at his Ahiritola home in Kolkata and spotted son Sahil among the inmates at the home and contacted the officers. The sleuths obtained the details from DD News and got in touch with Nirmal Hriday.
I am very happy. I thank Doordarshan News for locating my lost son.
Kartik and wife Suman rushed to Nakashipara and reunited with their son Sahil, who had gone missing on 10th February 2017 from a playground near his home. Bureau Report, DD News, Kolkata.
Well, before we end today's edition of Breakfast Show, we leave you with a positive thought to kickstart your day. Accept no one's definition of your life, define yourself. Our image of the day, glimpses of 10-year-old skateboarder Maxim Abramov overcome his disability. His video went viral on Instagram. Take a look, smile, stay healthy and have a safe and wonderful day ahead. Bye-bye.